I scheduled a children's Zoom service for Pentecost weeks ago, having no idea what would be transpiring since that decision. It's scheduled for an hour from now. There's no way to say everything to them that needs to be said, other than I miss seeing them, and that God loves them, their neighbors, and the whole world. Tomorrow is a scheduled National Day of Mourning and Lament for the now more than 100,000 Americans who have died from COVID-19. At noon, Bishop Hayashi has asked for us to pray for them, and I will toll our church bell 100 times, once for each of the 1,000+ persons who have died. There's so many good reflections right now publicly available to us. I'll keep sharing links to them on Facebook and also share some in a parish email to the congregation today. What I need to say right now was so well articulated by my friend and colleague, the Reverend Miranda Hassett, that I'm going to use her words. She posted just as I sat down at my computer this morning. She wrote, "This is a complex situation, requiring us to hold a lot of things in our heads at once. That's hard for us. We want somebody to be right and somebody to be wrong. But stay with the complexity. It's important. Number one, a whole lot of people are furious, sad, and simply at their limit from watching Black and brown people be murdered for no reason by police and or neighborhood vigilantes. They are tired of waiting for change. 2, undercover agitators with their own agendas and an interest in exasperating division and unrest are escalating both violence and property damage, probably just about everywhere that protests are happening. And 3, in many places, police themselves are escalating the situation by using rubber bullets and tear gas against peaceful protesters, in addition to some more egregious and terrifying examples. This is a great observation and comments on it, and then I made my own comment on her post. I said, all of your main points are included in my thoughts this morning. I think immediately of the only thing I would stress is that those rushing from outside to agitate and participate should not obscure the fact that people are protesting in their neighborhoods and local municipalities as well. People of color seeking change in a systematically racist system that continues to cause fear, inequity, and despair, and included in their protests are more than a few of their white neighbors who are seeking change as well. I think all this is true. Today is the feast, Pentecost. It's usually wildly and widely celebrated as the church's birthday. There have been years at St. Paul's where we've gone all out. Flying dove banners, red and orange lightings, fire hangings, everyone dressed in red, multiple languages all read at once. I love Pentecost. My daughter was baptized on my first Pentecost Sunday here at this baptismal font, with the Reverend Susan Roberts unforgettably playing Girl on Fire right after it happened. I look forward to the party of Pentecost every year. But today is not a day to party. In a sermon for today called Pentecost, Prejudice, and Pandemic, Diana Butler Bass wrote, Pentecost this year is not as much party as protest. To name is to mourn the loss of individuals with gifts and loves. But Pentecost calls us to take another step beyond our personal laments and to be found together in a shared name, child of God. In this relation, Pentecost emerges as human solidarity. We stand together in the same family, the same name, with and for, and even as victims of the violence sadly endemic in this broken world. We are all Ahmad. We are all George. We are all the 1,000 names in print on the front page of the New York Times that have died. We all are the 100,000 plus dead Americans from COVID-19. What happens to one happens to us all. We are not separate, really. The fire of God has burned into the world, reducing to ash all division. A new human family has been born. Sons and daughters dare to prophesy. Old and young dream dreams, and slaves, men and women alike, announce God's justice in the world. The great and glorious day is truly here. You are all children of God. May we live in the reality of Pentecost, even now, especially now, children of God.